Welcome. In today's video we'll be breaking down the International Monetary Fund, IMF. Its role, how it raises funds, who gets access to those funds, and what those funds are used for. Plus, we'll also explore situations where the IMF funds shouldn't be used. Let's dive in. The IMF, or International Monetary Fund, is an international financial institution that aims to ensure the stability of the global monetary system. It helps countries in financial distress by providing them with financial support to avoid economic collapse and stabilize their economies. The IMF was established in 1944 to foster global economic cooperation, ensure financial stability, and reduce global poverty. It has over 190 member countries, all of which contribute to its financial resources. So where does the IMF get its money from? The IMF's funds come primarily from member countries through contributions called quotas. Each member's quota is determined by its economic size. Bigger economies contribute more. For example, the United States is the largest contributor, providing about 17% of the total financial resources, while smaller economies contribute less. These quotas form the backbone of the IMF's financial resources. The IMF can also raise funds by issuing special drawing rights, SDRs, a type of reserve asset that can be exchanged for other currencies. So, who gets access to these funds? Countries facing a financial crisis, such as a currency collapse, unsustainable debt, or a balance of payments crisis, are eligible to borrow from the IMF. The IMF typically lends money to these countries with strict conditions, called conditionalities, which require the borrowing country to implement economic reforms. These can include measures like reducing budget deficits, privatizing state-owned enterprises, and reforming the financial system. Once a country has received IMF funds, they are usually used for stabilizing the economy. The funds help to stabilize the national currency and prevent devaluation, pay for essential imports like food, medicine, and energy, rebuild foreign exchange reserves to prevent future currency crises. These loans are not for building infrastructure or long-term development. That's the role of other institutions like the World Bank. Let's take a look at a couple of real-world examples where the IMF stepped in. Argentina, 2001-2002. Argentina faced a massive debt crisis and defaulted on its international debt. The IMF provided a $40 billion loan, helping the country stabilize its currency and avoid complete collapse. However, the austerity measures required by the IMF led to significant social unrest and prolonged economic pain. Greece, 2010-2015. During its debt crisis, Greece risked defaulting and leaving the Eurozone. The IMF, along with the European Union, provided a €110 billion bailout, which included tough austerity measures to reduce the country's debt and stabilize its finances. In both cases, the IMF's financial support helped the country stabilize and avoid total collapse, although the social and economic costs were significant. Now let's talk about where IMF funds should not be used. The IMF strictly limits how its money is spent. IMF funds are meant for economic stabilization, not for military or defense spending. The IMF has specific conditions attached to its loans that focus on economic recovery. This means countries cannot use the funds for building military capabilities, purchasing weapons, or funding defense projects. Spending IMF money on defense would be seen as a violation of loan conditions and could lead to the loan being withheld or the country facing severe economic penalties. In conclusion, the IMF plays a crucial role in helping countries during economic crises, providing financial support, and guiding them through necessary economic reforms. However, it's important to remember that these funds are meant for economic stabilization, not for military spending. By ensuring that countries use IMF funds properly, the IMF helps prevent complete economic collapse and ensures a more stable global economy. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon for more insightful videos. Stay informed and stay curious about global economics.